Hey guys, Ranger here, and welcome back to another video, and welcome back to this a reaction and review to the second episode of The Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse, which I believe is the world House of Tomorrow. Now, I have some information about this, about how I'm going to do this series after the reaction and the review. There will be a timestamp down below to that, so you can skip ahead of that, but I have something that I want to say in regard to that. So, just a pretext, I'm not going to be able to do a full reaction to this, or, I mean, there won't be you won't see the reaction to the full thing because of copyright, so it's just going to be the video in pieces. I mean, it's just going to be pieces of it, like I have seen other people do with things here on YouTube, so I'm going to have to do that because of copyright, but I'll explain more about that later on at the end of the video, so let's go ahead and dive into this right here. And let's start the video. Starting video in 3, 2, 1, click. A friend of mine told me that these shorts really do get good later on.
The House of Tomorrow!
That's nice.
Artificial intelligence that is catering to your every need.
Prepare for morning sustenance.
Okay. Ah! That's cute.
I need to finish reading this.
Ah!
His mother dies.
Ah, cute.
And now for the secret ingredient. Love.
What else do you need to do for this Minnie?
What's wrong with this house?
Do you need to paint portraits of Minnie?
No.
I already have.
Okay, this. Oh my. That's awesome. Oh my. Oh gosh, that old cheapo costume. This just turned into Hal.
Oh, you can't go.
And a torture house.
I plan on tending to your needs forever.
Goofy will overload it.
To get.
Today's technology.
Sounds good. It's kind of on fire, dude. Okay. Yeah, this was a really, really cool short. I gotta say, this was a really cool short. I gotta say. I really enjoyed the visual aesthetics in it, too. And yeah. A friend of mine told me that this one, like, pretty much the house itself was pretty much like Hal from, shoot. What was the name of that movie, dang it? Yes, okay. I had to look it up. Yeah, the robot, the house kind of reminds me, the voice of the house pretty much reminds me of HAL 9000 from 2001, A Space Odyssey. I think that's what it was completely based off of. Now, of course, the concept of the House of Tomorrow is, I mean, Walt Disney, back in the 1950s, back in the 1960s, well, before he passed away, loved the concept of, loved the idea of the future and what the future could hold with technology, with science, and space exploration. And so this right here, pretty much, this whole setup, the whole background here, sort of gives me a bit of a World's Fair sort of vibe, just with how that it looks. I mean, it probably isn't, but it just kind of looks that way. And then the house itself is like a futuristic style house. Now, this isn't the first time Professor Drake has made something like this. He did it again with another house in a Mickey short with in I think it was the House Mouse episode House of Genius. He did in a cartoon in that. He created another house as well that ended up had one of my favorite scenes in it where it created he had a device which is pretty much like Discord, and Professor Von Drake uh, foreshadowed Discord, but it had the scene where this curvy female robot showed up and was going to tend to Mickey's needs, and Minnie before that said Mickey saw her with like face cream on and a towel wrapped around her. She was brushing her teeth, and she told him, "Now you're going to leave me for some curvy mouse droid." Then this mouse droid rolls up, and Minnie, like, literally, this device teleports Minnie there. Minnie beats the. She completely dismantles the mouse droid off screen, and then tosses Mickey into the pile. Cute little scene, but yeah, this kind of reminiscent of that for me personally. But yeah, I really enjoyed the short. It's funny. There's a lot of hilarious little gimmicks in it. The concept at first that Mickey is like super excited about this whole thing and he wants to check it out, which is totally understandable. Donald is, of course, on the no frickin' way concept because Donald knows, nah, things always happen. He's right. So I was kind of with Donald on this, but yeah, the concept of the futuristic house, it's kind of understandable, and in a way. I can easily say that this cartoon itself is pretty much my idea about what would happen if we had that kind of technology in general. I mean, in some respects, we have a bit of that technology today, but at the same time, we do not, and I think it's a good thing. I mean, some advancement in technology is great. I really do believe that, but I also feel that there should be a line that should never be crossed with how far technology could go. And while the concept of electric vehicles I think is cool, at the same time, I don't want, I do not want gas powered vehicles to be eliminated. I want electric and gas to coexist together. And me personally, I would never have a refrigerator that is so futuristically advanced or so technologically advanced that you can. I've seen them before, and I would never have one that you can actually tell it or it communicates with your phone and you can tell it to remind you what stuff you need from the store. No, I'd rather just write it down on a piece of paper, do it old school. I would never have something like that. I would never personally have something like that. And so some advancements in technology I feel are making things too easy for people and it's making people too lazy. I do feel that way. Um, some things I can see being a benefit, but also I feel that some things it makes people too lazy. And sorry, tear my mouth. It's basically because me, I'm still old school. Today's generation of people would, if some people got in my old truck, literally, like some of the younger individuals, and I sound so old whenever I say that, but like the younger individuals, if they got in my truck and they saw my old truck and they would literally be like, where's the power button for the windows? And I'm like, it doesn't have one. It's the window crank right there. That's how you roll the windows. And they're like, you have to do it yourself? Yeah, that's how we did it. That's how we did it back then. So I do feel that this right here is a really good example of, and honestly shows, don't rely on modern technology for everything. Because it does have glitches. And of course, it doesn't show it here, but of course, it can hack. People can hack it, people can take advantage of it, people can spy on you, and so yeah, because that can happen. But the house starts off. It's pretty much just like anything. House starts off, everything's cool, everything's fine, but then things start going crazy. The house starts taking advantage and turns everything into just crazy. I mean, and it just starts completely turning everything crazy. So yeah, I really do think that this right here is really good example of don't trust modern technology because it can become creepy. It can go a little too far. So, but I do love the visualization that they did with this cartoon. I really did, and of course, it was Goofy to be the one to break it. It was pretty much Goofy to be the one to help break it because it's Goofy. It's Goofy, and the ending where they're like, yeah, let's just forget about this stuff, or let's just stick with today's modern technology. Professor Fondrek is, let's deal with that tomorrow. I'm not sure if that's a metaphor for let's just deal with that, tomorrow whenever it happens, or if he means, or if he's just being lazy and I'll deal with it tomorrow. Honestly, this house probably should go ahead and finish burning to the ground. It really should. But again, I love what they're doing with this. I love the visualizations in this. The funny thing, that some things that reminded me, Mickey's expression whenever Professor Von Drake is like, "Oh, it's not coming out till tomorrow." Mickey's expression is basically, to me, every I can relate to Mickey, and I'm sure a lot of gamers and such can relate whenever you find out, oh, a game's that you've been wanting has been delayed, and you're just like, you're like, what? And of course, honestly, folks, I don't care if any voice from anything beckons you. Honestly, like this kind of the way the house beckons the mice, like I don't know. For me personally, it takes me like it. It's one of those things where something can have alluring charm, but it turns out to be bad. Don't trust it, you know? So that's pretty much what it makes me think of. Now, the whole thing with Mickey saying it normally takes 3 hours to do his hair and everything, I'm wondering if that could be a reference to the parks for how long it takes to fix the park mascots, the park characters. I'm wondering if that's a reference to that. Because surely it wouldn't take Mickey normally 3 hours to do his hair and his ears during the day. Again, also, I gotta say, Donald in a Speedo. I never thought I'd see that. And also, I love the little Mickey shaped waffles or pancake. Very adorable, I gotta say. I can easily see Minnie making those. So, it's very, very, very cute to see that. But I love the little reference here where Mickey actually picks up the book of Bambi and he's like, I need to finish reading this. And then that moment whenever the house is like, his mother dies. It's just, oh my gosh. Oh gosh. Mickey's face, honestly, here is so many of us whenever it comes to spoilers. I'm just not joking, dude. I'm straight up telling you. Reminds me so much whenever a cousin and I were playing through Kingdom Hearts 2 for the first time back in 2006. And I remember I played the game. We're playing. Pardon me. We were playing through at the same time, but I take my time more with gaming because I love to explore. He was rushing through it, and so he got much farther ahead than I did. And so I remember he came over one day and he looked at me and said, "Axel dies," and I'm like, "You idiot! Why would you tell me that?" So yeah, he spoiled that much for me. I never have forgot that. I know for a fact he's never going to watch this video, but if there's ever chance that he happens to, dude, I still remember. I still remember what you did. But Mickey's face is like, how many of us have been in that situation where suddenly someone spoils something for you? You're wanting to catch it yourself, and then someone spoils it. You're just like, I hate you. It's so funny. Oh my gosh. But I love that Disney took advantage of their own history and took advantage of it there for that. I love that. Also, I think it's super cute that Mickey was actually baking stuff for Minnie, and then this house is like, yo, here's more. And Mickey's just like, you done what, man? Mickey's expression, yeah. So, again, relatable. But of course, the comical thing, and I don't know how many people would get it, but this whole thing with with the hands doing the karate chops basically on Donald, and then the ding, and then going back, that reminds me of the old typewriters. And the thing is, again, it kind of falls back to some of the stuff in this is clearly for people that remember those, but some of this stuff people won't get. I can easily see some of younger generation not knowing what this is. This is like the old typewriters where you would be typing and it would the the thing with the thing with I think the paper, it would move over and then you would have to reset it yourself. You would have to reach up and then it would just go ding and you would have to keep doing it. I never used one, but a family member of mine had one. Actually, still has it. So I remember that being used like every year for the family reunions because that was what was typed on it. But I do remember that. And honestly, the scene here with Mickey walking in, seeing these hearts around this picture of Minnie, I love how it got ritualistic here, and this whole horror aspect that it goes to. And I think a friend of mine told me that this is like almost like Five Nights at Freddy's with what they've done. Some of the stuff here and these paintings. Some of these paintings are not too bad, like this little one of Minnie on the ground. It kind of looks like the Tsum Tsum. But some of these just look, and the one up here at the top, on the upper right, not too bad. But the one on the right, over here, far right, yeah, that's like Five Nights at Freddy's style right there. And some of the art here is just completely crazy. And then whenever causing like the bleeding from the eyes, the black, that just, and the music that was playing at that point is just awesome as well. But the topper of this, honestly, is this old costume that it shows from like what the night or very like this earliest Minnie and Mickey costume. Like, oh my gosh, that's a straight up actual photo. That is just a straight up actual photo, man. That's absolutely hilarious. I absolutely love it because the first costumes that they ever made with Mickey and Minnie were pretty terrible. I mean, that was the best quality that I mean, obviously they're much better today, but they were hilariously bad back then. You know, which I mean that was what the materials that they had access to back then, I guess, but it was hilarious. I love that they did that. Of course, this house turned into a torture chamber, wanting to basically use a laser to split Donald right up the middle. And then they managed to get kicked out of the house and survive. They survived the house. Um, But again, I really enjoyed this show. I love the horror aesthetic that they went with for this, with the pictures of Minnie and this sort of like a ritual with having her picture amongst candles. You know, I really love that. I really do love that. I really do love what they did with the short. It's really fun. I'm super excited to hopefully get to check out the rest of the shorts with the Mickey and Minnie cuteness. I'm really hoping to get to check that out as well. But I love what they do with this. I super love what they do with this, and I love the horror aesthetic that they went with and little jokes and gags like again the references to Disney's history, which is super fun, and the fact that they actually can take advantage of that. And basically, the house was like HAL 9000, you know, like again, I love that. I love what they did with this. The visuals were great, and it's so super fun. It really, really is. And again, I gotta say, again, I would have to say if there's a moral or a message to take from this, it's too much technology is a bad thing. I mean, I there are people today that would still tell you that, oh my gosh, you know, modern technology, you know, is so super amazing. I can't wait till there's more. If you've grown up with the modern technology, you might think that, but I can't say. I personally, some technological advancements I think are great. Advancements in medicine I think is phenomenal. Um, I think some advancements with vehicles is cool. Um, but there's some things, I mean, and like with laptops and, you know, such, uh, phones, I think is cool. But again, I, I mean, and some of the technology to be able to make, you know, die-cast and resin vehicles, I think are cool. You know, model kits and such. But again, there are some things that I feel it has and will advance too far, and there should be a line that should never be crossed because it's going to reach that point. There's a gnat, and I do not think that line should be crossed because I think this right here cartoon and even that other cartoon from House of Mouse in House of Genius I think should be an example to people, but people will completely ignore it. Even I can see it here. Too much technology can be a bad thing and it can come back and bite you. Now, what is not shown here is the fact that people could probably easily hack something like this, drain someone's complete bank account, take advantage of everything, lock them out of their own house, you know, hack into everything, spy on them, you know, that can be a thing. And so, I mean, heck, I personally, I don't like vehicles that you have a push button start. I'd rather just have the key switch, you know. I mean, I don't mind automatic windows, but I prefer, you know, manual windows myself. And I don't need a vehicle that has like 10 different screens in it. I don't even need one. I'm good. And I don't use Bluetooth. I don't use Bluetooth. My truck has a CD player in it. Both of my trucks have a CD player in it. That's the most modern that it is. That's the most modern thing in my trucks is a CD player. That's it. And I don't plan on advancing to something else. But again, I love the short. I have to say it is really cool. I love what they did with it. I love the references and the gags and the little horror aesthetic that they went with. I love that. Now, I can easily see now if this was up on YouTube back a couple of years ago, before Kappa decided to shove its stick down everybody's throats and take away the whole comments on things like this. If this was up on YouTube, I could easily see people complaining about the horror aspect of this, saying, "Oh, it's too dark. It's not Disney." You have your mind stuck too much on Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, okay? Disney back in the 30s had some dark gritty. I mean, back had some dark gritty stuff in it. I mean, heck, even as far back, I mean, even as early or as newer as '95 from Runaway Brain. If you can't handle that sort of stuff in these Disney shorts and you want it to be completely innocent, 1 2 3 ABC, do us hardcore Disney fans a favor, leave the Disney community, leave the Disney fandom, okay? I've been a Disney fan since I was little. I love this sort of stuff, you know. So if all you want is Mickey Mouse Clubhouse 1 2 3 ABC, that's your problem. Stick with it. Watch only that. Don't watch this stuff, okay? We Disney fans, we hardcore, longtime Disney fans, we get this kind of stuff, and we love it. Now, there are two additional things that I wanted to make a mention about. One thing is, this is the part where I said that I had some information that I wanted to say, and I'm going to hopefully have a timestamp to this particular part of the video. First off, I do not, at least I hope, that I won't see people asking me why did I have to cut this and upload it. I mean, why did I not feature the full thing? I'll tell you why. There are two reasons. Actually, there are three reasons why that I trimmed this reaction. Number one, because of copyright. These Mickey shorts are only available on Disney Plus. And so they're not available on YouTube. So obviously there's a risk of a copyright to do a reaction to the full thing. So I mean to feature the full reaction. So obviously I trimmed it because I've seen other people do reactions to to Disney movies and even movies that aren't Disney. I've seen people do reactions to those here on YouTube, but they trimmed it. And so that gave me the idea to trim that maybe I could do these shorts but trim it. And so that's what I did to try to hopefully avoid copyright. The second reason why is because since these are only available on Disney Plus, I didn't want people coming to my channel just to watch the cartoons because they don't have Disney Plus. You know, I didn't want people taking advantage of my reactions and my reviews of these just to watch the cartoon. You know, I didn't want that. I had people do that to me whenever I was doing reactions to Initial D, and I had people complaining, "Make the video bigger. We don't want to see you." And I would respond and tell them, if you don't want to watch the reaction, don't come to the reaction. You can find Initial D up online elsewhere. Watch it there. Don't come to a reaction and use my video for that. If you don't want to see the reaction, don't go to it. And so I had enough experience with that. I do not want people to be taking advantage of this and watching just the cartoon. You know, like, I'm not going to try to take away from the Disney Plus experience, you know. So I'm not going to do that. So that's why I'm also trimming it, is so that way people can still watch the full cartoon. If they want to watch the cartoon, they can still watch them on Disney Plus, you know. But I do not want to be the only person that does a reaction to these cartoons in full and then have a bunch of people flocking to these videos just because of that particular thing. Had enough experience with that. I don't want it to happen again. The third reason is kind of a bit so that, you know, little kids won't really stick around if it's not the full thing. So, you know, older people that understand about the copyright thing will be able to understand why that I do this. Little kids will not. And so if they see that I'm not going to be doing reactions to the full thing because of that, people that don't do videos on YouTube, they're not in the know of how the system works and what you have to do. So little kids don't understand that. And so hopefully, I'm hoping that this will hopefully also keep keep some of the kids away, so that way they won't be trying to take advantage of my channel as well. Because, I'm not a channel that does this sort of stuff for kids. I mean, have you ever seen me dress up as Spider-Man and have Elsa in my videos? No, I know that's not my channel. Um, so that's another reason why I did it. Second thing that I wanted to kind of address kind of goes along with what I just said, is my channel is not for kids. Um, and I mean, if you go to my channel and you look at the banner at the top, you'll see what it says. And, my channel is not for kids. I don't do these reactions for the kids. My friend and I are both hardcore Mouse fans. We've been Mice fans since we were little. And there are other Disney fans as well. Back whenever the Disney, I mean, I can just see back whenever we still had comments on the Mickey shorts, I could see, I could easily look through the comments and tell the difference between the actual true Disney fans and little bitty kids that just watched it and the adults that just watched it because it was just mildly entertaining to entertain them for a brief period of time. You could tell which ones were just mildly entertained because they wanted a brief moment of entertainment, and then you had the true Disney fans. And so, yeah, I'm hoping that, that's why I do this as well. I don't do this for the kids. I don't do this for the mildly entertained. I do this also for the hardcore Disney fans that can appreciate the visual aesthetics. And that also segues into what I said before. If I ever got like a little bitty kid or heck even a young adult commenting or an adult commenting on this and saying I don't like what they did with the horror because it's too scary. Look at the world today. That's worse. Look at the state of the world today. That's worse. Also, I've said this before. If you don't want your child to be exposed to anything, wrap them up in bubble wrap, keep them in the basement until they're 50, or just simply don't have them. I mean, just don't have sex. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. Stop spreading your legs, taking the sausage, and just, there you go. Plain and simple. Don't want to raise your own kids? Don't have them. Plain and simple. Why do you think I don't have kids? I don't want kids. But anyway, I do love this. I do love this short, and I'm looking forward to hopefully getting to check out more of these right here. Additionally, what I'm going to try to I will try to upload the full reactions to somewhere else. I will try to upload the full reaction itself to somewhere else that is not as copyright heavy. So this right here is a trim version. I will try to upload the full reaction somewhere else. Whenever I do, obviously there will be a link to that below, so you can check it out. And if I cannot provide a link below in the description, it'll be in the comment, or it'll be in the comment. Probably in the comment. I'll leave a comment below and it'll be there, so you can check it out there whenever I do that. So yeah, just letting you know about that so you can check out the full context of it. If I do that, otherwise I'm probably just going to stick with the trim version. But like I said, I have to do the trim version, so please do not be complaining. Why don't you do the full version? Because YouTube won't allow it, okay? And because these are only available on Disney Plus. If these were on YouTube, it'd be a different story. But they're only available on Disney Plus. I'm not going to take away from that Disney experience, okay? I'm not going to take away from that. So that's why I have to do it, okay? But I'm going to try to feature, obviously the parts where hopefully hopefully are the most entertaining, the parts that I really enjoyed. But again, but again, I do love these shorts. I think they're cool. I can't wait to check out the Mickey and Minnie stuff. I'm really looking forward to that. But again, thanks again for joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed. And let me know your thoughts on this as well. Thanks again for joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed. And hopefully I will see you guys in the next video that I do. So take care.